Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in DC Dark Legion, I want to take a look at my overall account. We are a year old. We just passed the year mark. I think it was last week. So I want to give you kind of an idea of what a year-old account looks like. Also give a little bit of context around money spent, things like that. Definitely not a free-to-play look, but just want to take a look at the game overall and also give some suggestions and hopes for 2026. There's a lot to go into here, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So a year old, a little over a year old. This account, I started, it was server 204. We had a server merge this year, so now we are server 202. And that changes the dynamics a little bit, especially when you start talking about leaderboards and things like that, because you've got whales and really high-performing teams in both servers. So when you combine both, it's going to naturally push people down. So when I talk about some of the progress I've made, I'm gonna reference that a little bit because there has been a little bit of change, especially when taking a look at like combat cycle and stuff. I think overall the game is good. But I think it's kind of in a space where if we don't start seeing some very cool things happening within the game to keep players coming back, then it might be in a little bit of a danger. But before I get into that, let's just talk about the account overall. Like I said, it's not a free-to-play account. I was free-to-play for the first 4 months of the account, and then I really started spending. Overall, just to give some context to kind of compare to, I've spent probably between $3,000 and $4,000 in this entire year on this game. So part of that, though, I just have to thank all of you out there. I wouldn't have been able to do it without all of you, your views, your likes, your shares, things like that, because I do generate some money through YouTube, and that money goes directly back into the game. So the money, a lot of that money is spent in the game to further my account so that I can create some good content and stuff for all of you. So that's where most of that money comes from. So about $3,000 to $4,000 into this account. That's on the low end when you start talking about whales, right? Because you have people who spend tens of thousands of dollars on this game and other games. It's not just this. I mean, you've got mega whales in a lot of mobile games. So almost every mobile game I've played, there's been some mega whales. So just to kind of go through the account here. So again, $3,000 to $4,000 spent on the account. My roster overall, this is what it looks like. I've only got 2 full reds. Let me go with star levels here. Yeah. So other than the legendaries, and we start taking a look at the mythics and the mythic pluses, the only full red stars I have is Constantine and Krypto. Krypto pretty easy, just because we had his event, which I thought was very, very good. Also, he's in the daily deals, so if you spend on the game, you can get him through daily deals. And then you also have the mythic selector packs where you can select him as well. So I did a lot of that to get him maxed out. Now I'm using the mythic selector packs on Donna to max her out because I am focusing somewhat on the Amazon team as well. So these are the 2 that I have fully maxed out. Other than that, the next one that comes close, the only other red star I have is my Swamp Thing. I love the JLD team. I think that's one thing to really take into consideration too as you play this game. You can't build a ton of teams, especially if you're a free-to-play or low spender. You really want to focus on 1 to 2 teams, maybe 3 max. But I really stay focused on 1 to 2 teams just to balance out the bleed as it comes out. So a lot of red stars when it comes to your legendaries. You're going to max those out over time. Eventually, these legendaries, you're going to be able to ascend them to mythic pluses. I mean, mythics, we do have a couple already with Red Hood and Wonder Woman here. Those are the first 2 legendaries that got an ascended quest. So you're able to get them up to mythics at least. We're told that we should see that for all the other legendaries as well, because there will be no more legendaries in the game. It's all going to be mythics and mythic pluses. And then the iconic characters, which now are these. You got DM Wonder Woman, iconic. That's a new tier in here. So I think that's going to be specific to the death metal team. I think there's going to be a full death metal team. So we do have the tag there. It leads me to believe that. So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like in the coming year. I think there's been rumors around Death Metal Batman coming up. So we'll see what that looks like in 2026. And if we just go through the rest of the roster here, It's mainly purples and blues for the most part. Some really good characters to build. I've got guides and stuff out there to take a look at if you want to build specific teams. I got a team tier list. I'll put a link up to it right over there. I've got my regular tier list. I'll put a link up to that as well. But just off the bat, you take a look at some really good characters. You got Joker, who is awesome for combat cycle. Sinestro is a great character, great single target spiritual damage dealer. Superman is the first bleed you'll ever run into, and he's okay. He's kind of dropped down a little bit. Hippolyta is great. Supergirl is great. Let's see. Stay away from Roy. Flash is pretty good. I see him used quite a bit in combat cycle now, especially once you get into the higher levels of combat cycle. Let's see. Obviously, Death Metal Wonder Woman, but she's very difficult to get. She's unavailable right now until she comes around again, but she's very expensive. Artemis being the newest character on the beta servers to join the roster and to be in Amazon. She's pretty good. She actually takes the place of DM Wonder Woman as the damage dealer for that team. If you don't have her, you only have the 4. Let's see, who else? Starfire is magnificent. I love Swamp Thing. He is great. We've got Riddler in here. I think I passed him up, who is awesome as well. And I love Constantine. I love the JLD team, so that's where my focus is. The 3 main teams that I'm building right now is the JLD team, the Amazon team, and the Superman family team. So that's where my roster is now after a year of investment. I am playing the game every single day. I'm taking advantage of as many deals as I possibly can. All the free resources that I can get. I'm taking advantage of most of the league stuff. I'm not a huge fan of like the jet stuff, and I know that that's a huge thing for this game and the end game. The main focus of this game for end game is PvP and the jets. It's just, I don't know. I think probably the newest thing that came out, and I'll talk about this just a little bit later, is Metropolis Maneuvers, which I think is a really good start to move into an event that's a lot of fun that'll keep people coming back. I think some tweaks need to be made to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at ships. I just unlocked, let me go to my ships over here. This right here, I just unlocked the Pequod? This one here. You had to get up pretty high. What is it? I don't even, yeah, level 50 here in order to unlock that jet. But that's the final jet that you unlock. That you can unlock for free. It does take some time, but that took about a year. But that wasn't even available the first part of the year. So, but still, even if it was, it probably still would have taken up that year because everything that you did prior to this, when the jets came into the game, you didn't lose any progress or anything. So, and then we've got some jets that are still aren't in the game. This run right here is a Mega Whale one. You have to spend quite a bit of money. Rumor is $10,000, $20,000 in order to get this unlocked. The Batwing's still not here, and Blue Beetle Bug is still not here either. So I'm still waiting for those two. So there's only one that I don't have, and you gotta, like I said, put down quite a bit of money on that. So not bad as far as jets go. I've got some more options there. Next, VIP. I am at VIP 16. I'll probably hit. I'm guessing in 2026 I may hit 17 or 18, maybe. That's it. I don't think even with how much I've spent, I'm going to spend more than that in the coming year unless just something fantastic comes up. But I am at VIP 16. That allows me to take advantage of all the offers here for Green Lantern. I've got him as far as I can without purchasing these offers, but they are expensive. They're $100. Every one of these offers is $100 until you get down just a little bit lower. And then once you get up to 17 or 16 here, you do unlock Nurse Harley, which is cool. She's a great character, but I don't think they're necessary. So I don't think this is anything that you're going to be hurting with. Everybody else in the game are going to fill the roles that you need. You've got some great healers in the game that are going to fill the role of what Green Lantern does. You got some great damage dealers that are going to fill the role of what Nurse Harley does. So I don't know. If you're free to play or light spender, then I really wouldn't worry too much about that, to be honest with you. If you're a whale and you want to grab them, grab them. If you're a collector and you want to spend, go ahead. But they absolutely aren't necessary. When we talk about this game being free to play friendly, I feel it's free to play friendly in the way of you don't have to spend money to get through the campaign. You don't have to spend money to get to even phase 2 of combat cycle. It's just if you want to rank on the leaderboards, you're going to need to spend money. And I will say you are going to need to spend a lot of money because I swear every server has a huge mega whale that is spending tens of thousands of dollars on this game to stay at the top. So the best place to be in this game, honestly, is just a free-to-play player. Play it, have fun, enjoy the game, collect the characters you want, participate in the events, and just do your best to outdo yourself and not worry about outdoing all the mega whales or everything there. If you stay in that kind of frame of mind, even as a low spender, I think you'll have fun with the game. If you're trying to get to the top of the leaderboards without spending money or spending very little, you're going to get very frustrated. So just my 2 cents about that. All right, let's go ahead. Let's talk about some big fails. So throughout the year, and I'm not going to list every single one of them, but some of the biggest fails in this game, I think they've made a lot of changes in this game. They've made a lot of updates. They're trying to improve a lot for the player, and I think they have done a fair amount of that. But we have had some pretty huge fails, like first off, DM Wonder Woman and her unlock. I don't feel that any character in any game should be 100% locked behind a paywall. I think DM Wonder Woman, you can get her free to play, but depending on how often she comes around, it's going to take years, to be honest with you. I think that team is going to be a paid team, especially if you want that team to be anywhere near competitive. So I think that was a huge fail for the first year. Joker event, that was an awful event. That was probably one of the worst events that I've seen. They have made some improvements on events. I really do like the holidays one. I like the one that we had prior to this. I think the Thanksgiving one was pretty decent as well. So I think they're kind of tweaking those and taking some feedback and making some adjustments there. And then when we take a look at the transmute system, I think this is absolutely awful in my opinion. I think this needs to be completely revamped. Let me go over here, go into champion, and I'm going to go into Constantine here. Gear, let's take a look at this, and transmute. So I've got this locked. If I want to go ahead and keep this legendary stat here and just affect this second one here, I have to use this resource right here. I'm going to just go ahead and use that. Boom. There we go. I got physical defense. I don't want that. Look I got to do another one. Let's do it again. That's awful. Every single time. It's bad enough that it's random. That I'm used to. I've seen that in plenty of other games. But when you have a resource here that is very limited, that you can't necessarily farm. I've only got 8, as you can see here. I just spent 2. You can't necessarily farm them. You can get them from Training Simulator at the higher levels, but at a very low amount. You get very few. You can go and you can spend a bunch of money to get a bunch of these to transmute and everything. But I just think it's a very bad system. There's a ton of other games that have done a much better job implementing a gear upgrade mechanic, especially for stat-specific gear. When you're looking for those specific stats to improve that character, this needs to be redone, in my opinion. I'm going to exit out of this. They need to take another look at that. I think they did a really good job with Scarab system here. This is pretty good, but here's my thing on the Scarab system. Yes, I think it's good, but now as we have all these different stats here for the different characters, I almost wish that they would take a look and maybe consider this a stat chip, one of these cord chips, to be slotted into your character versus the jet. The jet applies to the entire team that is assigned to that jet. I think it would be much better if you take this cord chip and then you have a spot here within your character, boom, somewhere on the screen here under gear in order to slot a cord chip. That way I can take a JLD chip that gives me what I'm looking for, and I don't have to worry about having it on a jet and a full JLD team. Now, granted, the stats are doubled. You don't have to do that. The stats that you get on the chip apply to the whole team, but the bonus, depending on the tag of that chip, the bonus goes to that specific character. I think cord chips on the character here, I think that'd be cool. I think that would be better. I think it's good now, but maybe taking a look at that on how we can improve that system, I think would be really cool. So hopes for 2026. Here's some things that I'm looking forward to. But actually, before I get into that, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at combat cycle. I'm currently in phase 2. Like I was saying, you can get to phase 2 fairly easy. It does take some time because you do have to hit You have to unlock all the milestones for all the for all of the bosses in order to go into phase 2. I think the challenge with these with combat cycle is that the rewards are minimal. This is like that's one of the biggest problems I have with this game too. Rewards, by and large, in the events and anything that you're playing for, is really, really bad. There's really not a lot of incentive to come back to those events. So I think that's why maybe we have really low participation on events. But I mean, this is awful. You get 20 and 60 the whole way. Even when you get up to 5, unlock this 5th one, it doesn't change. It stays the same. So I think some updates need to be made to this combat cycle. Training simulator, I'm up to what, 15? I just saw it, 15. Where am I doing? I'll just go here. Current level 1531. I go into Realm of Fate, and you can see where I am on my levels here. Everything here is maxed out at 510. I do need to put a little more effort into this, but Forest of the Fallen, that's as far as I could get here with where I am with my JLD team, and I put a lot into that team. So it's going to take some time. I do have a few cleared out, not much, but that's where I am there. Let's see, Darkest Timeline. I haven't gone and I haven't cleared this out yet. All you can really do is you can go through there and you can clear out your missions. There's really no great way to gauge the power of your account in Darkest Timeline because you don't use your account. You don't use your roster. You use the characters that they give you. So you just go through there, you clear all the quests, and you wait for it to reset. It hasn't reset in forever. There's a lot of work that needs to be done with that as well. ACN, when we take a look at progress here, you can see I'm at 38 of 48 here. I am 30. Oh, here we go. 38 of 48 here. 32 of 47 here. 37, 38. So I'm in the high 30s, low to high 30s on these ones. I'm still working through maxing those ones out. The total overall power of my account here is at 40 million. Where I currently am, obviously I'm maxed out on my war room. I don't know if there's going to add any more war room levels or anything like that. There's been some talk, but I'm not really sure. Everything else here, I mean, I've got all my rooms maxed out. One thing that I haven't focused on, and I really need to, is I need to go in here and I need to upgrade. I need to max these out. I'm only at 69% and 57%. That does hurt my account, so make sure that you do stay up on this. But it gets very difficult when you try and balance where you want to use your chips, especially now that we have the Scarab system out that is using chips as well. So you're going to need to balance that and focus on what you need most for your account. I think Scarab, for the most part, can probably wait. And I'd focus more on the tech. And then just do your free stuff. Get your free attempts on your Scarabs every single day to level up. All right. There's a lot here. Like I said, we have a lot to do. I think overall, that is the review of the account. I know I've kind of sprinkled in a lot of other stuff. Let's talk about hopes, like I was saying, for 2026. I would like to see some way to farm. I mean, outside of this right here, the only farming we really have to do is this well, I guess training simulator you can say is farming, but farming resources out of ACN. But I want a way to be able to farm, to build your teams. I think that's missing. I think that's missing in a few games, actually, now. I miss that mechanic. I mean, when you take a look at some of the older games that have been out for 10 years that are still out, I miss being able to say, hey, I want to build my Superman team, so I need to go here and farm. Maybe it's just a few things to be able to farm. I know the bleed is the main farming mechanism in this game, but you'd never know when reruns are coming around. You don't know what that cycle looks like or when new characters come out and who they might be. So I think if they come out with some, it would be cool if they come out with some specific events to farm specific characters. So maybe you have a Superman family event that's coming out that you can farm resources, that you can farm shards for to build up your team, and you don't have to wait for the bleed to come around every time. Something like that to help with building your teams, I think would be good, because I think for free-to-play and low spenders, that's where this game would come a little bit more alive, instead of waiting for the bleed, saving all your anvils up, because right now that's the best way to do it. Save all your anvils up for the characters that you want, knowing ahead of time which characters are going to be good for the teams that you want. But then when you start thinking about hybrid teams, there's a whole other complexity there as well. I am droning on. There's a lot more to talk about than I thought, but I want something I want to be able to farm. That's what I want to be able to do. I want to farm some stuff. So let us do that. Give us a way to build these teams instead of just waiting for the bleed. A testing room. I talked about this in a previous video. I want some room. I want to go into a room. I want some place to go in the game where I can test teams, team compositions, not just full Superman family, JLD. I want to test hybrid teams. I even want to test maybe 1 to 2 characters to see kind of if I pit DM Wonder Woman and Artemis together and just do damage, either team damage, but also being able to do single character damage as well, to be able to compare them, like all of your damage dealers in the game, being able to see who does the most damage against a dummy or something. I don't know. Whatever that might be, like I was saying in another video, if this was Marvel, I'd be asking for a danger room. If it was Star Trek, I'd be asking for a holodeck. Something like that to help us test teams. Because there's no good way to test teams. You unlock new characters, depending on where you are in the game. If you're at the end game, you unlock Artemis and you only get her up to like 5 white stars, you're not going to be able to properly test her at all because you're so high in all the other game modes. She's not going to be effective no matter where you take her. So we need to be able to test these so we can give some really good input, just all of us, input on good characters and good team comps and things like that without being a whale. So let's see, what else? Universal bleed. I want the bleed to be the same on every frickin' server. Every server, in my opinion, should be on the same bleed. Because, you know, I'm giving feedback and thoughts on Artemis, but Artemis is like months away for other servers, especially brand new servers now. They're not going to see Artemis for a year. So content that we've created a year ago, they can take a look at, but they're not going to be able to take a look at anything current because we're just way too far ahead. The bleed needs to be synchronized across all servers, in my opinion, because it's very frustrating. We have these two. I do think they've done pretty good with having new characters here. And then during the month of a new character, you're going to get two shorter runs for rerun characters. I think that's good. I think there's an opportunity to improve that, though. Let's see. Darkest Timeline, talked a little bit about that. This needs to be updated. It's old. Nobody likes playing it anymore. It's boring, and we need a revamp. This thing needs to be revamped. It's a fun mode to stream, or it was in the very beginning. Not so much anymore. It's just kind of now. So hopefully we see Darkest Timeline get improved in 2026. And then Metropolis Maneuvers, I mentioned that briefly. That is a very good start to a game mode that I think will interest a lot of players. Because again, this game is a cross between your strategy type game, your 4X strategy game, and a hero collector, a turn-based RPG or idle-based RPG where you're collecting heroes and building them up and taking them out to do battles. This is kind of a cross. That Maneuvers is a little bit of a cross, but allows you to create teams, allows you to station your teams in buildings, and then your opponent, your other league that you're going up against, can attack those. I think there's some adjustments that need to be made to it. Like when a building gets destroyed, that's it. You want to go through and destroy all of the buildings, rack up your points. So I think some adjustments need to be made to that game mode. I don't like that the buildings regenerate. Maybe that's good, maybe that's not. But I think it's a good start. There's a lot of positive feedback about Metropolis Maneuvers, so I'm hoping that they take that feedback and they work on improving that. I don't know when that game mode's going to come back again. Nobody does. But hopefully it comes back and it's a lot of fun. So there's that. The overall view on this game for me right now is it's a good game, but in the state that it currently is in, if it stays in this state and we don't see a lot of change, I think the game may be in danger in 2026. And the reason why I say that is because when you take a look at, well, just take a look at YouTube channels, right? Like my channel and Quantum's channel and Rokage's channel and a lot of other YouTubers out there. If you take a look at their views, everybody's views are dropping. Subs are dropping. So people are starting to lose interest in this game. That's a huge indicator there. Also, we've seen a decrease in revenue every single month since launch. I think last month and the month before, they were the same, so we didn't see a decrease there. But that is something to keep an eye on as well. I know the game's making a ton of money. It's doing better than a lot of other games out there that launched around the same time. I just hope that in 2026 we see a nice ramp up. I want to see players come into the game. I want to see views. I want to see subs. I want to see people having fun with the game. I want all of that to look good. I want to see revenue come up. And I think the other thing is just the steady decline of participation in events. We have 100 capacity leagues, and it's maybe 1/5 of the league. Most leagues, 1/5 of that league participates in league events. So we either need to reduce the total number of members that can be part of a league. I think 100 is way too many. I think 20 to 50, somewhere in that range, is probably a better number. That would also help with allowing for more active leagues to be built within a server. It just makes sense to me. But I think the lack of participation in events is a huge thing here as well. All right, that is what I had. A lot to talk about here. I played this game for over a year now. This is the only game in a very long time that I've played for that long. So it's keeping my interest. It's allowing me to create content. It's allowing me to build and be part of a community. I think the community is great. The devs are great. I think the community managers are great as well. There's a lot of great communication that's happening in the game. There's a lot of great things happening with this game. I hope 2026 we see this game skyrocket. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And I will be around, and Quantum will be around as we do our podcasts as well. And I think a lot of other content creators will be around to share all of that cool stuff with you. All right, everybody, that's what I had for you. That's my year in review, my 1-year account. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you're playing the game, hopefully you're enjoying the game as well. All right, everybody, as always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.